Hello, friends, and welcome to Empower You 2 podcast. I'm your host, Natasha Paris, and I'm excited because you are in the building with me. You can be anywhere in the world, but you have chosen to be here with me, and I am so humbled and appreciative. Let me tell you about this show. Each and every single week, we continue to empower you to greatness that is truly going to help you, whether you are a person that have experienced a heartbreak, have gone through a divorce, or have endured levels of trauma of any kind, or you're just a person trying to rebuild their life and themselves, and now you are finally ready to live a life full of abundance, joy, and peace, then this show is for you. So with that said, thank you again for being here. I am extremely grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you because together we are empowered for greatness. You ready? Let's go. Hey, it is your girl, Natasha Paris, the empowerment strategist, as well as the mental health therapist expert. And I am so super excited to have you back again because we are now in season 2. Get excited. Yes, season 2. We closed out season 1 with 100 episodes. Can you believe that? Yes, I can. Because I really utilize my 3 powerful C's, which are the courage to do something that I had never done before. The second C is to be committed to this because I'm committed to helping as many people around the world become the best version of themselves. And my third C is consistency. Even though I at times didn't want to do it because I was tired or I had so much on my plate, I made a commitment not only to myself, but also to my children who are watching me and paying attention. And of course, to you. I made a commitment to give you all that I had. And let me tell you, season 1 was amazing. So if you have not checked out season 1, you can always go back within the Empower You 2 podcast and share, and really take in what was delivered. So with that said, I'm excited about season 2. Season 2, we are going to bring it hard, and we're going to start with episode 101. Are you ready? Are you ready for some good stuff, right? Not just stuff, some digestible stuff that can take you to the next level. So episode 101, and the topic is, we're jumping right into this. People pleasing is harmful for your health, your healing, and your happiness. I'm going to say that again. People pleasing is harmful for your health, your healing, and your happiness. Okay, look. When we're talking about healing, when we're talking about happiness, when we're talking about health, there is no going around it. And oftentimes as individuals, my friends, and I'm talking to you, people pleasing is not the thing. Because what I know for sure is that if you focus on people pleasing or pleasing others, such as our family members, our parents, our spouses, our children, our friends, our coworkers, our neighbors, you are going to lose every time. I'm going to say that again. You are going to lose every time if your main objective and focus are people, but not yourself. And I know you might be saying to yourself, it sounds selfish to put yourself first and ignore everyone else. That is not what I'm saying as a clinician for the past 24 years, as a licensed mental health therapist, as a daughter, as a mother of 2, as a girlfriend, once a spouse. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that there has to be a level of balance, because if there is not a level of balance, there are ramifications that come with it. And we all know what that looks like. But today, I'm going to break it down, because what I know for sure is that it is so vital for us to have the tools and the wherewithal to do right by not just others, but to ourselves. Because oftentimes, if you don't, it will impact you emotionally, it will impact you physically, intellectually, spiritually, relationshiply. I just made a word. Yes, it will impact your relationships. So let's talk about it, and then let's talk about finding balance. Because again, on this podcast, Empower You 2 podcast, season 2, we are going in because I want to make sure that everyone, by the sound of my voice, is gaining some information that can take them to the next level. I want you to be empowered. That's why it's called the Empower You 2 podcast. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Let's talk about 5 things that people pleasing will do. Okay, the ramifications, the consequences. All right, the first thing that I know for sure is that it always causes burnout. It always causes burnout. I had a client that came into my office, and one of her biggest concerns was that she was terribly exhausted. And when I asked her why she was terribly exhausted, using her words, she said that she was caring for not just her children, not just her spouse, but also both of her parents who were aging. And it's understandably, right? Because now you have no time for you. You don't make time for yourself. And so we'll talk about the things that you can do after we talk about the consequences. But burnout, putting too much energy into making other people happy, can lead to emotional and physical exhaustion. I said that already. When you always give without receiving, how many times you've given of yourself and it wasn't reciprocated? How many people can say that? I think a lot of people can say that. Unfortunately, I mean, you want to give to receive, but oftentimes people say, I don't want to receive. But let me say this. If you keep doing the same thing of giving and giving and giving and not receiving, it can wear you down over time. Okay. So we know burnout is 1. 2, loss of identity. If you spend too much time trying to please others, my friends, you can lose sight of who you are and what you want. You will find yourself lost in everyone else's attention and their desires and their goals. And that can lead to a lack of self-esteem and confidence, because here you are pleasing, for example, a parent that always wanted you to be a doctor, and you knew deep down inside that you couldn't stand blood, but you were going after it just to appease your parents. Because, they gave you, an opportunity. They paid for school and they loved on you, but they really pressed the issue of becoming a doctor. And guess what you did? You went to school, you went to medical school, did all of those things with the hope that things will change about how you felt about yourself. The third consequence is unhealthy relationships. People may get accustomed to your compliance and taking you for granted. For example, when you get to the place where you're pleasing people time and time again, what ends up happening is they take advantage of you. And when they're taking advantage of you, your needs get always put to the side. So, for example, it could be like your mom asking you to take care of say the dog. She drops the dog off. You watch the dog and you watch the dog even when you have other things to do. And you're like, I'm just busy. I can't keep, taking the dog out and feeding the dog while my mom is shopping. And what ends up happening is when you decide that you don't want to take care of the dog when she's ready, guess what happens? She looks at you like you're crazy. What is wrong with you? Why are you not giving me my needs? Like, why are you stopping what you want to do as opposed to what I want? And what that does is it creates an unbalanced relationship where the person feels used and abused, and they're often consistently overlooked because it's like, you don't have a life. You're taking care of my dog when I'm ready for you to take care of the dog because I have other things to do. And when you stand up and say no more, now people want to call you crazy. Now people want to say there's something wrong with you, when in fact, you became very woke, okay? You are now very woke, okay? So the third piece is unhealthy relationships, okay? And then the fourth is fear of rejection. See, what happens is that when you are constantly people pleasing or living to please others before yourself, what ends up happening is that you base your worth on other people's approval. You believe that if they like you, then you are somebody. But if they don't like you, then there's something wrong with you, not necessarily them. So what I want you to know is that when you are in that place of fear of rejection, what it can do, it can prevent you from expressing your true self and pursuing your own goals. Number 5. When you are pleasing others, people will exploit your emotional intelligence, right? Emotional manipulation in the clinical world is what we call it. Some people may exploit your desires to please them, leading to manipulative dynamics where you feel obligated and to cater to their demands and needs. Like they make you feel like that's often what narcissists do, right? But not everyone is a narcissist. People will do what you let them and allow them to do. And if they feel that they can manipulate you emotionally, have you feel guilty for doing something for them, or I should say doing something for yourself and not for them, that, my dear, is a problem. Okay. So it causes you to feel guilty. And I'm going to throw this one in there, is resentment. Over time, if your efforts to please others go acknowledged, you might grow very resentful towards them, damaging your relationships and people altogether. You're going to see people like, oh, all they do is use and abuse me. They don't reciprocate the love and attention I give them because they don't give it to me. And so I want you to know that there are many consequences to it, but I really wanted to address those points because I want you to understand that if you do not move out of that place of pleasing others, it is detrimental. Like I said before, it is detrimental to your health, your healing, and your happiness. So let's jump right into what is it that you can do when it comes to people pleasing. If you believe that is you, that you often do, you bend over backwards, you do a whole lot for everyone else, but you don't take time for yourself. If that is you, then you really need to listen to the second half of this episode 101. Because I have some tools for you in which you can begin to utilize right now. Let's talk about it. Okay, my friends, shifting from people-pleasing behaviors to focusing on self-wellness is a positive journey. So we're going to talk about how do you shift from the behavior that is self-deprecating, that is not helpful, that is not giving you what you need in order for you to be healthy, in order for you to be happy, in order for you to be healed. These are the things, and I'm going to talk about 6 points, okay? 6 points that you can get it today. The first is, I want you to self-reflect. I want you to take time to understand why you choose people over yourself. Why do you engage in people-pleasing behaviors? Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why are their feelings much more than mine? Is there something that I want from it? Am I craving it so much? I want you to begin to ask those questions to yourself. Okay, like really quickly, if you have a journal, and if you were paying attention, or I shouldn't say paying attention, if you were listening to episode 1 through 100 in season 1, one of the things that I've often asked was that I wanted you to have a journal. It is important for you to write out your thoughts. It's important for you to self-reflect, okay? Because if you didn't know, I give out empowerment assignments. I call them empowerment assignments. They're basically homework assignments, because I want you to understand that this work of self-wellness, self-reflection only comes through, well, many other ways, but journaling can help you identify your feelings, your triggers, and the situations that led you to believe that they were more important than you were. Okay. So self-reflection is one. The question that you would ask when you're reflecting is why? Why do I do what I do? And you may not get to that reason immediately, okay? But you have to dig deep. When are you doing it? Are you doing it when you are tired? Are you doing it when you are drinking too much? I'm just being honest. When are you doing it? When are you doing it? You need to ask yourself that question as well. And then the third question is, how are you doing it? Like, what does that look like? So the when, the what, and the how. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself those questions when you're journaling in the area of self-reflection. The second piece is, I want you to know that you have to set boundaries. If you're going to shift from people-pleasing behaviors to focusing on you and self-wellness, you have to set boundaries. Learn to say no. Fall in love with the word no. No, thank you. Oh, that was so sweet, but no, I'm good. With a smile, you don't have to be mean about it, because when you set boundaries, it helps to protect your time, your peace, your energy. That is so important. So you have to start small by declining minor requests like, you know what? Do you mind grabbing something at the store for me since you are driving by that area? It may seem like, oh, that's nothing, but it's a small decline by saying, you know what, I am heading home and I don't want to make any stops, but I'll take a look at it next time. I'm sorry. No. Come on now, small, minor, right? You want to start off gradually, right? Practicing for the bigger ones when it's like, can you walk my dog, or can you watch my dog for the weekend because I'm having guests, even though you have guests coming in too. Come on now. All right. Third, I want you to practice self-compassion. For those who know me, I often say, not only on my podcast, but also on my YouTube page, also on my TikTok page, my Instagram, and my Facebook. And also, if you've ever seen me speak live, I talk about the importance of self-compassion. Stop beating yourself up. It's important for you to treat yourself with some kindness. Right? You have to treat yourself better than you would treat your friend. And I have to say that again. You have to treat yourself better than you would treat a friend. I see people bend over backwards for others, but when it is about their dreams and goals, they do it half behind. You know that saying, right? And so it's important for you to practice self-compassion by, first and foremost, being kind to yourself, not beating yourself up, and then, of course, acknowledging your feelings and the mistakes you make without harsh judgment, without harshly judging yourself for the mistakes that you've made. Because one thing's for sure is that your mistakes are going to be life lessons because it's taking you to the next level. It's taking you to the next level. And if you're paying attention, you will know what those booby traps are for you when you are self-reflecting in your journal. Okay. Number 4 is I want you to prioritize your needs. Okay. Now, this is what you're going to be writing in your journal. I want you to make a list of activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. I want you to carve out time in your schedule, like literally write it down in your schedule, pencil it in, type it in, text it in. I want you to literally carve out time for you, whether it is taking yourself out to the movies, whether it is going to your favorite restaurant, or it can be just as simple as dancing in the house for just a moment, just for you, because you love doing that. And if you are focused on prioritizing your needs, then it will be easy for you to look at what other people's needs are. And you can say, nope, that is not in conjunction with my needs. It falls so far to the left. Okay. And then the last piece of that is I want you to actually, it's number 5, communicate clearly. Be honest, but yet respectful. That's part of that. You know what? No, thank you. I'm good. Oh, I'm not going that direction. Sorry. Right? Saying it with a smile, communicating your needs and being clear. Because guess what? Oftentimes, especially your family members will say, you never told me that. Oh, I didn't understand what you were saying. It wasn't clear. You have to be very clear to those you work with that you love. Clear communication helps others understand your boundaries and reduce guilt, because your family, your friends, coworkers, if you have been people pleasing for a very long time, they will make you feel guilty when you choose not to do that. When you choose the word no, when you choose to say, I'm sorry, that's not going to work for me, they will throw the guilt on you heavy. And so it's important for you to communicate clearly. Okay. Number 6, and my last point is challenge your negative thoughts. Challenge your negative thoughts. Observe the thoughts that are passing by hoping to stay. Right. And it's important for you to be in a place where you challenge those thoughts and reframe them in a more positive way. And what that looks like is the thought of, you're being selfish. You know she needs it. You know she's relying on you. And then in your own thought, quickly identify that it's a negative self-talk and reframe it by saying, she has a car. She can get it herself. She can pass by that area and pick up her special donuts. I have things I have to do. I love her, but she has her own car. Right? So you have to reframe that and then also say to yourself, you always give. You're not a selfish person. Just because you cannot make a stop doesn't make you selfish. It makes you be in a place of self-preservation because you have things to do. And also you have your favorite show coming on and you don't want to miss it. I'm being honest with you, my friends. It's important for you to, and I'm going to say those key points. It's important for you to be in a place where you self-reflect, take time to understand why you do what you do. Second, set boundaries. Fall in love with the word no. No, no, no. No, thank you. No, I'm sorry. I can't get to that right now. Fall in love with setting boundaries. Number 3, practice self-compassion. Don't be so hard on yourself. Be forgiving of yourself. Be loving of yourself, because you cannot ask people to love and forgive you when you yourself cannot love and forgive yourself. That's some deep stuff, Miss Natasha Paris, the mental health therapist expert. That's some deep stuff. Number 4, I want you to prioritize your needs. I want you to write a list of all of the activities that you enjoy doing. Okay? I want you to communicate your needs clearly, be honest, and be respectful, of course, right? And then, of course, I want you to challenge those negative self-talk, those thoughts that come into your mind telling you that you are being selfish, telling you that you did it before. What's the problem? Why does your feelings count? Like, those are negative thoughts. And so, my friends, I want you to know that people pleasing is detrimental to your health, your healing, and your happiness. And it's important for you to be in a place where you say no more. No more will I step on my feelings, my emotions, my desires and goals and objectives for others. Don't do it anymore, my friends. So, as we close, what is the empowerment affirmation? I should say the empowerment homework assignment. Okay. The empowerment homework assignment is, if you did not get a journal last season, buy one. You can get one even right now at the dollar store, right? A composition book, because kids are going back to school. And you can get a composition book, a black and white book, and write my journal. And those are the things that you're going to do. You're going to get a journal, and also you're going to write a letter to yourself 5 years ago. Just 5 years ago. What would you say to yourself 5 years ago? That's your homework assignment. Get a journal and write a letter to your former self 5 years ago, and see what comes up. See what is said. Because let me tell you, my friends, if you fall in that category of people pleasing, today it stops now. I'm going to say that again. Today it stops now. Okay, so with that said, I hope that this episode 101 within season 2 was helpful enough and it resonated with you. Because if it did, I want you to, come on now, go to your favorite platform, whether it's Spotify, Amazon, Apple. I want you to go to your favorite platform and write down this particular episode as to how it resonated with you, and whether you were able to walk away with some key points. Okay. All right. So with that said, I'm going to end like I always end. And that is, I want you to be empowered for greatness, because without greatness, there's no you. And without you, there's no greatness. Look forward to seeing you on the other side. Bye.